Cue straight and score. It's the way we're going to get you to play like you do in practice and not turn up a match and play like you've never played before. It's all about understanding how to cue the ball straight and knowing exactly what you need to do next. This is Break from Life. Welcome back, and if this is the first time you've watched one of our videos, then it's fantastic to have you here. Here's one of the major features of snooker. You learn to play well in practice, you learn exactly what you need to do, you go to do it in a match and you can't quite do it, and it comes up an awful lot. I even saw this with someone I played last week. We were playing an important handicap match. It was a crucial frame I had to win. I had to give him 42 points head start, which I caught up straight away with a break of 42 with my first visit. But then I left him in a situation like this. He was in amongst the balls, but he was terrified. He was like a rabbit caught in the headlights. He didn't know what to do. He looked around everywhere. He was looking around like I'm sort of demonstrating here for a few minutes, got down really quickly, hit one, missed it. Now this happens to everybody when they play outside their comfort zone, which eventually they'll have to do. So this is the first of 3 steps that we're going to use to help you cope with these difficult situations. Because when you're playing in a relaxed environment and everything feels comfortable, you're going to automatically just pot the balls naturally. You're not going to really think about how you're potting the balls, you're not really going to give too much thought to how you're playing the shots. You're just going to go to the shots, play them, and hopefully pot the balls. But if you want to cope with the pressure, you're going to have to understand why pots go in and why they miss, and understand what you've got to do to pot something. So do this. Take the most reflective ball, the black, and place the white straight in front of it. So you've got a straight shot into any pocket. It doesn't matter as long as it's fairly similar to this. Now what I'm doing my cue here is making sure I'm going to be striking the white directly in the center in a vertical plane. So we're definitely hitting it in the middle, and you're going to be able to see a reflection of the white on the black. And this is exactly what we're going to use to strike. We're going to play the shot as though we're going to hit the reflection of the white on the black and see how close we can get to hitting it. The next time you're in a pressure situation, you can remember this technique rather than worrying about the pressure. But for now, just remember, pick your point on the object ball, which for now will have the reflection of the white on it because it's a straight shot. Then when you get to the shot, make sure you're hitting the white in the center. You can then forget about the cue ball completely and just pretend you're striking the black directly with your cue. Practice this shot a few times until you can pot it exactly straight. The second step is you're going to use a practice routine that I demonstrated on Break for Life. You can find it on our channel page on how to practice snooker, along with a load of other videos that will help you dominate at the game. And why not make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel? The second step is keeping close position with the cue ball, because you need to keep things as simple as possible in these situations, and you certainly don't want to make things any harder for yourself than they already are. Now, we're going to use the same technique from the first step to help us pot these balls. We're going to pick the spot on the red. We're going to play it like we're just playing the red and the white isn't even there. We know we're hitting it in the center, so we're just going to play through there. But look what we've done. We've overhit it. And this is the last thing you want to do, because then the black's difficult and then we're going to have difficulty getting back on the red again. So you don't want to be leaving yourself more to do. In a way, that's like you've gone halfway to missing the next shot already. So as well as the mental approach we're going to use to pot the ball, we're going to use a similar thing to make sure we get the position right. So we want to finish about there. Now we're going to do this by working out exactly where we need to go. Now we've already done that, so we're going to get an idea in our mind of how firm we're going to play the shot. Now once we've done this, we're going to go to play the shot, keeping this idea in our mind and not changing it. Keep your focus on exactly where it needs to go and then play it. If you just remember what I've shown you in these 2 steps, you'll be surprised how well you can pot the ball and how well you can play position. Remember, this isn't going to be easy on a table that you don't play on a lot, and this is why if you go somewhere else and play on an unusual table, it can put you under more pressure. So we're going to play up for the red again. Now where my cue is now, we want to finish in between where I'm marking there. You see where I'm marking? To the right of my cue there, and to the left of where I had it to start off with. If we finish in that little triangle, we'll be on the red nicely. So for the first time, we're not going to be hitting an object ball in the centre. We're going to be hitting it roughly where I got my Q-tip there. So we're going to pick that spot on the object ball. We're still going to hit the white straight through a centre on a central plane. We're going to hit it very slightly below centre so I can stun up for the red. Now we're just going to play through this. We're going to be confident in our position and we're going to play the shot. So we've gone nicely on the red. We've finished high rather than low, so at least we've got an angle to get back for the black, even if it isn't as easy as if we finish dead straight, but we've still got an angle to get down for the black. So we're going to pick our point on the red again. That's here. We pick the spot. We're going to make sure we hit the white exactly in the centre, and we're going to stun down for the black. So we're going to play it just a bit below centre. We've got our spot picked out on the object ball, and we're going to play straight through the centre and imagine we're hitting the red with our Q-tip, just like that. But what do? We've completely forgot to work out where we're going to play position for. I didn't really think about that, and that's why that's gone there. And this is what can happen so easily in a match. You just forget to think about things and you put it down to pressure, but it's really, you're so worried about so many other things that you forget something, and this is what pressure makes you do. It doesn't make you miss, it makes you forget, but more on that later. So as you notice here, I've put a red up to demonstrate where we need to play the white to actually pop the black, and actually it's not exactly in the right place, so I'll just get it nice and straight. So that red's straight in line to pop the black. So what we're going to have to do with the white is get the white into the space that the red's filling, and if we do that, we're guaranteed to pop the black. So if you look at it, it's there. But if you notice, if we play the centre of if you play through the centre of this red, which we'd have to do to pop the black, you see the centre of the red is missing the black altogether. So what we're going to need to do is use the edge of the white to finish where the edge of the red was, which was roughly there somewhere. So we take that away again. So we're going to line up the edge of the white to pick a point on the black where the edge of the red was. So we're going to play that as slow as I think we can get away with, knowing exactly what we need to do and not changing my mind on it. And we got it, but we're way out of position, and this is why close positional play is crucial. Now the third step is quite simply how you deal with pressure during a game. So let me explain what you're watching here. I've set all the balls up on the table in nice easy positions, and I'm going to see how close I can get to clearing the table. I've then speeded it up because otherwise this will take way too long. So this is how I learn to deal with pressure during a snooker game, and I don't think there's any actual advice out there, so I've kind of come at it from bizarre angles and got advice from, as you'll see, some very bizarre places. The first thing I really want to explain is that pressure isn't actually real, or in a way it is real, but the way people tend to describe and explain it isn't exactly how it works. Pressure is just your regular fight or flight system trying to help you out in a way. It realizes you're in a difficult situation, a stressful situation, and it's sort of saying, well, run away or fight. And in a really bizarre way, you've got to sort of trigger it to fight in a controlled way and not to sort of get you to almost run away, because your brain will start to realize that missing enough times will actually get you out of this stressful situation. Now, I think a lot of people do in stressful situations is try to get rid of the pressure and try and escape it, and this is only going to lead you in, like I already said, running away from it. What you need to do, like I said, is sort of trigger your fight rather than your flight response, but in a controlled way, and that's why you sometimes see people lashing out at things, because they don't know how to deal with the situation they're in. One of the things I used to do, and a lot of people have told me they do similar things, is get on a shot like this one and think to yourself, well, what happens if I miss it? But I learned to deal with this rather weirdly by focusing on what I explained in steps 1 and 2 and the Dwayne Johnson line.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Yes, bizarrely, it turns out you can think anything you want to on the shot, as long as you've done what you need to do, like I explained in steps 1 or 2, you've worked that all out, and you stay committed to playing those shots, and I'm going to explain a bit more on that in a minute. But yeah, bizarrely,
It doesn't matter what you think!
on an actual snooker shot, you can be thinking about all the wrong things, like how you're going to celebrate after you win. You can think about how it's going to be the worst miss you've ever seen, how people are going to be talking about it for years as the worst thing that's ever happened on a snooker table, and never stop going on about it and suggest you probably shouldn't play again. You can think all this stuff on a snooker shot because
It doesn't matter what you think!
now, this by a long way isn't everything. I would strongly advise when you're up from the table, away from the shot, worry about potting the ball then. And then when you're down on the shot, then just worry about the position. I mean, I'm not saying just concentrate on the position, I'm saying just worry about the position. Because if you're worried about the pot at all, this can lead to you changing your mind. And this brings us to our other problem, that there's still something that can go wrong. We can sort of give up on the shot. You remember I said it's a sort of fight or flight thing. You're either going to want to run away or you're going to fight. And you can be on the shot for a good 30 seconds sometimes. And it's difficult to all that time just concentrate and believe that you're going to get it all that time. Now, this is the best advice I've ever had in this sort of area, but for some reason, I got it from the most obscure possible source. I accidentally clicked on a pop-up ad. I think I was trying to watch an Avengers movie late at night, and this thing pops up. I've actually started watching an advert for a video for a self-help guide from a male Asian porn star, if it needed to get any weirder. And he explained how he dealt with this problem in the same way he dealt with a similar problem when he was in the army. And he used to have this drill sergeant that would just make him run around, jump up and down everywhere, do press-ups until he would literally vomit or pass out. And he'd make him do this daily. And the way he dealt with this was by mentally not quitting on it. He decided he was going to try as hard as he can not to pass out and just do what he was told to do. And his time that he could do this got longer and longer. And eventually he managed to do it for about 10 minutes. The drill sergeant was happy and he went on to picking on someone else. And I used this mental approach in snooker and it seriously helped my game. So I realised it's alright if you miss pots or the position goes wrong, so long as you don't mentally give up on those things going wrong and you follow what I explained in steps 1 or 2. You know where you're going to hit the ball, you know where you're going to want the white to go, and you never actually give up. So in the end, you end up being strong enough to pot these shots. And one of the best ways I found to practice doing all these things is use this practice routine that I explained in step 2, where you just keep potting the reds and blacks. There's a lot more to it than that, and I explain it in this video, how to practice snooker. And if you want more advice on how to line a shot up and technique, then try our video how to stand in snooker. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel. See you later.